Nate Diaz versus Khamzat Chimaev, man.
Oh,
I think it's mainly the picture I see is Diaz says he wants to lead the UFC, and he's just telling it to everyone that he'll take any fight. So what does UFC do? They say, let's send this guy to one of the worst matchups he can face. Let's
send him in a body bag, eh?
Slaughter. Khamzat Chimaev, goodbye. Send you to your funeral, Nate Diaz.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm thinking. Like, fuck, like, especially at 170, like, like, fair play to Nate for taking this fight. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if something happened, he doesn't make his super fight. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised with that, to be honest. But, yeah, I don't think because you could put Nate arguably against anybody else. Yeah, him against like anybody in the top 10 to 15 at 170, and they're not favorable matchups for him whatsoever. But then you put him up against like a Chimaev or like an Usman or a Burns or that, and then you're like, you don't even want to see that fight. Like, there's a reason he's paying like $7 to $8 on Sportsbet for this fight. Like, you might chuck $1 or $2 if you never want to see it again, but like even then, like he's not going to catch him in a submission. Like, he's not going to gas him out over 3 rounds, sort of thing. And like Chimaev hits hard, and Diaz is just known for taking and copping damage. And I think that's what it is that he's got 1 fight left. He's very vocal about wanting to leave, trashing him. You've seen that. And like, fine, you want to leave? This is a fight you're going to have to take. And they're probably just trying to like realistically destroy his reputation and like try and make him leave with as little stock value as possible. Because like, if he leaves off a decent win, like say if he left, even though he lost against Edwards, he had that sort of clip in the 5th round where he's like, oh, you can leave off that. And then Bellator and everyone else like that one, they'll look at him and be like, oh, there's still some notoriety. But if you get him getting fucking butchered for 2.5 rounds and the doctor stopping it because he looks like a mashed potato on his face, like realistically, like he still has that name value, but actually, like, it's nowhere near going to be as much as what it would be if they gave him like a more favorable matchup sort of thing.
It feels like if Diaz was like a heavier guy, then you'd have a chance, but it just looks like they're from different divisions. Like, he's just such a monster, Chimaev. He's just so big and physical, right? And Diaz doesn't seem to have that same sort of strength. His body doesn't look as good. So he's like, he's just going to get outpowered, I imagine, you know, like obviously Chimaev has power, and that he's a little bit elementary with his striking. So if you let Diaz come in like 15 kilos heavier or something, he might do all right. Yeah. I don't know. I think he might do all right. But you can see this going in the direction that Chimaev does with everyone, which is come out, smash him, because Diaz is going to walk forward like he always does, smash him with a couple of straight punches, straight to the clinch, just bury him into the fence, and then take him down and, you know, beat him up and open some cuts, right? I can't really see much else happening in this fight. He's not going to.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing. Like,
to keep him at bay or anything like.
Oh, man, like it's hard to see path to victory for Diaz in this fight. Like, just even stylistically, like it's like the ground game. You're not too worried about Chimaev on top of Diaz, sort of thing. Boxing wise, just even if Diaz is landing, like a lot of his stuff is just pitter patter sort of stuff. Whereas Chimaev hits hard, and like he hits hard for a 170. Like even though McGregor hits hard, he's a 145er, 155er, then had like 2 or 3 fights at 170. This guy's a natural 170. He has to cut a fair amount of weight to get down there. So the power's going to be completely different. And then you've seen Diaz, who was it against? Was it against Rory McDonald at 170? Where he just got absolutely wrestle fucked, and it looked like a kid playing with a toy sort of thing. So I think we're going to see the same sort of situation plays out here. Like, all respect to Diaz for taking this fight, and you almost want to say if there's a man who can pull off the upset, like he's the man. But for this matchup, I just don't see it happening. Like, I think it's going to be brutal, to be honest. I think we're going to like finish watching a fight and be like, yeah, well, that was like, what else did you expect, sort of thing. Like, it's going to play out how most people are talking about it now. Diaz is probably going to get ran through, and then it's just going to be like, yeah, it is what it is, sort of thing. One of them fights.
Yeah. It's like you saw that Masvidal fight. Diaz looked like he almost got taken out in like a minute, man. He started to get destroyed. He somehow kept going because he's got such a strong chin, but he got destroyed. Yeah. He got destroyed for a while, then ended up getting stopped. Probably good for him that it got stopped because he was getting some more brain damage, you know. One thing about Diaz, man, he just has never really evolved, I feel like. I love him. I love his style. I love the way he's beaten heaps of people that I bet money on him before to win. and won money off him against Connor, against Gray Maynard before. So I kind of rate him in a way. He comes back and smashes people when he's not supposed to, but he's got to be the worst kicker in the UFC, man. Like these guys have been, how long has he been fighting? Like forever, man. And he still can't even throw a kick. Like, what
yeah,
the fuck?
legit.
Like really, man, him and his brother, you see him kicking, they look fucking worse than me as an amateur fucking fighter. And these guys have been doing it for their whole lives, man. So I guess they're just boxer plus BJJ and they just haven't evolved from that.
And just insane cardio.
Yeah, man, the cardio and the chins, man, they're granite jaw that they can just take getting bashed for their whole life. And yeah, he's how old is he? He's 37 years old, which is old anyway, but he seems like he's about 60 mentally, you know.
Mentally, yeah, CTE.
He's been through so many wars, eh?
Yeah, it's anyway.
So what's your final prediction on this one, bro? It seems pretty obvious.
I reckon we can get pretty specific with this because like everybody's expecting a Chimaev finish. So I'm going first round. I think on the feet, he's gonna rock him, probably stumble him down, get on top and pound him out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in like 2-3 minutes or something like that. Like I think Chimaev just runs through him and yeah, we're gonna be like, well, that was sad to see, but yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. Like, there's not much more to say about it. I think Chimaev's going to absolutely run through him.
Yeah, bro, I agree. I think it'll be exactly what you said. I'm thinking a second round, though, because Diaz has got one of the best chins in the game. I think he's just going to, be moving around the ground a bit, not being a sitting duck and moving a bit, and then he'll get taken out second round. That's my opinion. Although I hope Chimaev goes a bit hard like he did against Gilbert Burns. And just ties himself out that little bit, takes the edge off his punches, and Nate can come back and crack him a bit because Nate's technically a better boxer, technically better at jiu-jitsu, but the wrestling and the strength and the power is a problem. If you can take away a little bit of the edge of the power, hope he gets there, man. I'd much prefer to see Diaz win.
Third round triangle, bet the house.
How good would that be? How good would that be? Imagine the bet on that, man. It'd have to be, what do you reckon, like 30-1 or something? I don't know. It'll be something huge.
Well, if he's 7-1 naturally, like, I reckon it'll be, probably 25-35, I reckon, for a third round submission.
I could bet the house. Let's bet the house.
And just don't come back if it doesn't hit because, it's probably one of the least confidence bets I'd ever say.
Yeah.